guys, it's Emma and I'm back today for you with another video. Today, this video is going to be a little bit different. Today I'm going to be talking about all the TV shows that have molded my brain, shaped my personality, basically formed me into the person that I am today. I'm not going to be including any childhood TV shows because that would just be a lot. So before we actually get started, I want to know, what are y'all's favorite TV shows? Did y'all like the same TV shows that I did? Did you guys not like them for any reason? Let me know, okay? And yeah, let's just get right on into it. So the first TV show that I want to talk about that really stuck with me, that really formed who I am, is Law & Order SVU. I first started watching this show when I was like in my tween years, like 12, 13. It literally radicalized me. I haven't watched any of the newer seasons. I just like continuously go back and watch season 6 through like season 12, like my favorite episodes, because they're just so good. And they have like, I don't know, they were filmed like a while ago, so they kind of have like that almost nostalgic type of thing. I can recite Law & Order SVU's intro by heart. I don't know what that says about me that I can't memorize math formulas. However, there it is. Iconic is a very useful word when coming up with definitions for these shows. And Supernatural is the next show that we're talking about, okay? I was watching Supernatural when I was in high school, okay? So it was like a while after it had come out. I am a Dean girl. I remember the second his fine ass showed up on my TV screen, immediately I was hit with, he looks like young Emilio Estevez. And I love me some Emilio Estevez, okay? So I saw Dean and I was like, bruh, who is this man? Who is this man that is my type? Who is this man that is a smartass? Who is this man that can fight? Ah! And something that I kind of give a little bit of credit to Supernatural for is it kind of reawakened my love for rock music. I got like a bunch of songs from Supernatural. For example, White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. I got Renegade by Styx. I got War Pigs by Black Sabbath. Supernatural was just fun because it was Monster Hunters and rock songs. It was awesome. My dad and my mom got into it. It was really fun. Not to mention it was urban fantasy, which is literally one of, if not my absolute favorite genre, like in all of media, okay? Average Joes in an Average Joe world finding out that the world isn't so Average Joe. I love that, all right? And the fact that it dealt with so many different mythological creatures and cryptids was awesome, okay? And like they dealt with so many creatures from different cultures too. That was what I really adored. Just, I don't know, all of these different things that we'd been told were not real. We saw Dean and Sam fight and basically take down. It was so good. Another CW classic, everybody. Rain. My friend, she got me in on it. She was like, oh my gosh, look at this historical drama. And I was like, ooh, the outfits, okay, the outfits on Rain were not historically accurate in the slightest, but damn were they good. The dresses that Mary Queen of Scots wore in that show, I want them. I want them right now. Mary and Francis, every time I think of them, I get emotional because it's just like, they were such a power couple for me. I didn't watch the last season because there were just some things that honestly got me incredibly angry. I was like, really? You killed this specific person? If you know, you know. Mary and Francis have such a hold on my heart, and Adelaide Kane, an icon. For any of you who were Vampire Diaries girls, and you were like, okay, well, I wish that there was some more like werewolf stuff happening. Bitten was that for me, okay? Yes, the CGI was dodgy as shit, but it was nostalgic, okay? It was really nostalgic. I've rewatched like the first season, I don't know how many times. The first season was absolutely amazing. Miss Elena from Bitten and Miss Elena from Vampire Diaries, two very different Elenas. Two very, 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 very different Elenas. Elena Michaels, what a woman! I loved her, okay? She was awesome. And then like the found family aspect of that whole show, loved it. That I would say is a staple, and I want to say that aired on Sci-Fi, which that was one of Sci-Fi's best shows. Okay, Bitten, Face Off, Heroes of Cosplay, when they did that for like a tiny little bit. 2010's Sci-Fi shows were unmatched. Charmed. I watched Charmed because my sister and my mother used to love watching it together, and so I was like, okay, well, let me see what it's about. I loved the sisterhood that they showed between Prue, Piper, and Phoebe, and how it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. There weren't many shows like just about witches. Like, yeah, we had the Vampire Diaries, we had Bitten, we had the originals, but most of them just had witches as like background characters. This was centered on witches. And then just like Supernatural, this was also urban fantasy, them having to protect their basically livelihood from all of these supernatural creatures that just want to destroy them. They didn't let anything slide. Do not mess with my girl Prue, do not mess with my girl Shannon Doherty, do not mess with them. Just don't. Just don't. And lastly, Piper and Leo. It's not even funny how much I loved Piper and Leo. I lived vicariously through Miss Piper. Miss Piper was my favorite, okay? And I lived vicariously through her with her little romance with the angel. Girlfriend. It's not even funny. I loved Charmed so much, and I'm really gonna have to rewatch it now. This one I feel like is not gonna be a very big surprise, especially if you're around my age. And that's the Vampire Diaries. I've watched this twice. Yeah, the first time I watched it, I was a Damon girl, and then the second time that I watched it, I was a Stefan girl. Very different viewpoints now. Very different viewpoints now. Like Rain, I started Vampire Diaries when I was in middle school, like late middle school, maybe like 8th grade, and it was that TV show for me for a while. There's something about like a TV show being made and then you actively waiting for the next season to come out. Like I remember waiting for season 5 and then season 5 ending with Bonnie and Damon and that infamous scene.
I don't know.
I remember the second my screen went black after that, my jaw was dropped and I immediately was like, oh my gosh, when's the next season coming out? Season 6. Whew. How to talk about season 6. Season 6 came out and I was immediately trying to watch it. I couldn't finish season 6, in fact, or beyond. Season 6 was when I stopped watching it. I couldn't watch season 6 because it was it was too emotional for me. And I know that sounds completely irrational, but this was when, you know, Damon and Elena were like on opposite sides of the veil, and Elena was like in such a horrific period of mourning. And again, this was when I was a severe Delena shipper. And to see Elena hurting so bad, it hurt me really, really badly. I don't think I got past episode 4 of season 6 because it was just taking too long for me because like each episode was 50-something minutes long. I couldn't go 10 minutes watching an episode of season 6 without needing to have a 15 to 20 minute break because it was just too emotional for me. That genuinely did stop me from ever continuing to watch Vampire Diaries again. However, I did rewatch it, and that's when I became a Stelena girl because even though Stefan has his own issues that he needs to work on, we all just kind of forgot the fact that Damon abused Caroline in like season 1, season 2. But yeah, no, Vampire Diaries was a huge staple for me. Also urban fantasy. And I loved the vampire lore that it introduced. It was just so cool. And Nina Dobrev's acting as not only Elena, but also as Catherine, and then Catherine acting as Elena. It was so good. It was so good. I loved that show, and I think it will always have a nostalgic place in my heart. Next, we have Empresses in the Palace. This was the push for me into Asian dramas, okay? The intrigue between the concubines, the intrigue between the palace servants, the tea that this show had was monumental, okay? Not to mention, it was just it was a beautifully shot drama. I think I've watched it 3 times. I'm on my 3rd watch. I'm now watching the YouTube version with like the actual timed run, the actual amount of episodes. I really do love Empresses in the Palace. I think that's like one of my top favorite Asian dramas. I think that might be actually my favorite. And it's also kind of got a little bit of a revenge story in there too. It's really good, and it just has it's just full of cunning women. And I love cunning women. It's not even funny. Claws! Claws! Oh my goodness. This show made me obsessed with like doing my nails. Okay, this show is so much fun. It is hilarious. It is dramatic. Miss Niecy Nash. Claus is where I know Niecy Nash from. She's a powerhouse in that show. Claus is also what introduced me to La Lupe, and Puro Teatro and La Tirana are 2 of my favorite songs now. I love them. Singing La Tirana is so much fun. I love it. Okay, Claus is just a really fun time, all right? It doesn't take itself very seriously, which I always appreciate, all right? It just allows for more just ludicrous shit to happen. Honestly, now that I think about it, if you guys liked Good Girls, at least like the tone of it anyway, watch Claws. We have the one and only Inuyasha. This is my comfort anime, all right? I rewatch at least 1 episode of Inuyasha at least once a month, okay? It is funny. Nothing can make me laugh outlandishly like Inuyasha can, all right? It introduces friends to lovers. I would say this is what introduced me to loving friends to lovers. The found family in here is absolutely amazing, and I just love watching Inuyasha. It's not even funny, and it includes that like kind of time traveler thing and urban fantasy. I loved it. Everything that was introduced, like the monsters, the lore, the characters in here are so singular, I feel. Like, I loved it so much, I got the manga for it. And I feel like that says a lot. The White Queen. For any of y'all who watched this during, 2010? Whenever it came out, y'all are real. This is like a historical fiction piece reenacting the War of the Roses. And it's probably not historically accurate at all, but oh my goodness, was it entertaining. It was like 10 episodes long, and I watched them and I waited for them as they came out. Like, I watched them with my mother because she and I both love period pieces, especially stuff that is based off of historical events. Like the War of the Roses is incredibly interesting, especially to a history buff like me, to learn about and figure out, you know, all the different power dynamics, who, like, the alliances and everything like that, the scandals that they all went through, with the incest and everything like that. There's not a lot that I could say about the White Queen other than it was like the period drama that really got me into, I would say, period dramas in the first place. Scandal. Scandal is one of the most recent shows that I've watched. I watched this with one of my best friends. We binged like all the way up to maybe midway season 7, and then school started again. So we have yet to actually finish Scandal. But oh my goodness, did this show have us gagged at some points. Like, we were dead ass like pausing it, yelling to each other about it, and just being like, what are these people doing? Olivia, literally one of the strongest and most iconic female characters of all time, okay? She will never be beat. You can't outdo the doer, all right? She had the president and a CIA agent wrapped around her finger at the same time, okay? My girl was making moves! Scandal was so much fun, and it was such a blast to follow, like, all the machinations that were happening. It was just so good, and it was really cool, especially because it involved the government, and just, I don't know, a bunch of stuff that can happen in the government, and it was just really good, okay? A lot of really good actors are in Scandal, okay? So I would say that maybe, if you're a fan of Suits, I'd go for Scandal, all right? Or just a Shonda Rhimes fan in general, all right? Check out Scandal. It is so damn good. The last two shows are pretty damn similar. The first one is iCarly, all right? This shaped my humor immensely, all right? The episode with Jack Black literally leaves me in tears and stitches every damn time. My mother loves that episode. Okay, we quote it damn near every time we see each other. It is so funny. We got some iconic ass music, not only from iCarly, but from the next one that I'll be talking about, Shakespeare. Literally one of my favorite songs of all time. I was watching that when I was like really, really young. I watched it with my sister, I watched it with my mother. It was just so fun, okay? And now I really, really, really want to read I'm Glad My Mom Died. By how everybody's been talking about this book, Miss Jeanette McCurdy has a lot to say. And I'm here to listen. The last show, which kind of goes hand in hand with iCarly, is Victorious, obviously. This also shaped my humor immensely, okay? And we also got a load of good music from this show, all right? Best Friend's Brother, a banger, begging on your knees. Freak the Freak Out. The friend group in this show was awesome, and how they kind of like fluctuated, almost like Charmed, where it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows, but at the end of the day, they always came back to one another and made up. Victorious isn't as integral to me as iCarly is, but it would be a disservice of me to not say Victorious in this video. So you guys, those were all of the shows that molded me into who I am today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that, I don't know, I can find some camaraderie down in the comments with other people who watch these shows, okay? Especially Rain, The White Queen, Claws, just, you know, shows that really don't get as much media attention as The Vampire Diaries, iCarly, Supernatural, you know what I mean? Also, if you watch Supernatural, let me know whether you're a Dean girl, a Sam girl, or a Cass girl, okay? Let me know. I want to know, okay? So with that being said, you guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you look out for more videos on my channel because I do have a lot planned. I hope that you guys are staying safe, and I hope that you guys have a good rest of your day. Goodbye!